Okay. Here, client-server communication is a scenario that we have taken in which we have to use J2EE technology. Instead of standalone technologies, we have to use J2EE technologies. So in client server, usually we will have different applications. Here, different application means browsers, so here it is a client. We are talking about different applications from different devices like laptop, desktop, browsers, Chrome, Explorer, different applications which are connected to the application, which sends a request to the server application on the server tier. Server can be, let's say, Windows server or IBM mainframe, etc., where you are supposed to host your application. So your application name is HRMS, which is hosted on the Tomcat web server. So here we are talking about web server means which handles request in terms of HTTP protocol. Here the protocol what we are using is HTTP protocol. It stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Hypertext Transfer Protocol. It stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Hypertext Transfer Protocol. This is a Hypertext Transfer Protocol. So here we are using HTTP protocol in order to send a request and receive the response. Send a request and receive the response. So here the request is nothing but in terms of HTTP protocol and response is in terms of HTML, text or HTML. Since the request is using browser, the response will be in terms of HTML. So this is the concept wise we are talking about client server communication using Java technology, that is servlet or JSP technology or J2EE technology. Do you have any doubts in this concept?
No doubts.
Any doubts concept wise? No doubts. Okay. So here we are talking about different applications communicating using Java technology, that is J2EE technology, or here in specific we are talking about servlet or JSP technology. Now let's see programmatically. So here, let's save this. Okay, so here so this is a servlet program. Servlet is nothing but it is Java plus HTML. Java plus HTML. So servlet is nothing but Java plus HTML. This will be executed inside the Tomcat server. This will be executed inside the Tomcat server. So here you have a Tomcat server. Tomcat. So you execute Tomcat you execute servlets in terms of servlet application in a server. Now, what is this Tomcat server? Tomcat server is nothing but it is a web application server or it is a web server. It is a web server which will run web applications. Web server to run web applications. to run web applications. Web server to run web applications. So server will or servlets are hosted in a web server. Servlets are hosted in a web server. Servlets are hosted in a web server. Now, what is the servlet consist of? It is nothing but Java plus HTML code. It is a Java plus HTML code. Let us see a sample how to create a servlet and how to execute. Now, before we go ahead, we should have a Tomcat server installation. Now, how do we install Tomcat? How do we install Tomcat? So let's say www.google.com. So before you install Tomcat, you should have minimum Java 8 installed on your machine. Tomcat 8 or higher. Tomcat 8 or higher. Okay, so let's go to official website. Tomcat 8 or higher. Okay, so this is a Tomcat 8 I'm trying to install, or you can install Tomcat 9. So minimum compatibility version is for Java 8, you will have Tomcat 8. For Java 8, you have Tomcat 8. Java 8 or higher. Tomcat 8 or higher. Java 9. Tomcat okay. So for Tomcat 9, Tomcat 8 or higher, minimum version is 8. Here Tomcat minimum is 8 or higher. Higher in the sense, let's say usually 8 or 9. Sometimes even latest versions like 10.11 might not work on Java 8. Okay, so Java 9, let's say Tomcat 9 or higher. This is how we usually take compatibility of server with the Java version. Server compatibility with the Java version. Server compatibility. Server compatibility with Java version. Server compatibility with Java version. Okay, so etc. Let's take etc. Any doubts in this? So first you have to install Java and then you have to install Tomcat. If you reverse the process, it will not work. If you reverse the process, it will not work. So first install Java. First install Java 8 or higher. Java 8 or higher, and then install Tomcat. Install Tomcat 8 or higher. Tomcat 8 or higher. Any doubts so far? One second, 1 minute. Call from consultant. Okay. So here we are talking about server and Java compatibility. Okay. So here first, in order to install Tomcat, you are supposed to install Java 8 or higher. So install Tomcat, go to this is the official website. I'm sending you the link. This is the official website to install Tomcat. So here on the left side, you can see Tomcat 8. So in Tomcat 8, you have got Tomcat 8.5. The latest release is Tomcat 8.5.68. So this is the latest version. And if you come down, you will be able to see files like zip files based on the OS. So the better option to download is tar files or zip files. It is for Windows 32-bit as well as 64-bit. So the better option is you are supposed to install using the installer. You have to select this. You have to select this. You have to select this and let it be 9 or 8, whatever version that you want to install, you can install it in your machine. Okay, so I'm giving you a sample 8 version. So you have to go to official website tomcat.apache.org and download the installer, Windows Service Installer, and then install Tomcat. Install Tomcat. Install Tomcat. Install Tomcat server. Okay, so once you install this, once you start the installer, let me say, let us take Tomcat 10 as a sample. I'm showing Tomcat 10. So if you click on the Tomcat 10, it is giving so many options. And one more thing, you should not install this alpha versions or any extensions are there. So better click on the Tomcat 9, which is a standard version as of now. Okay, so download, let's say Tomcat 9 or Tomcat 10. You can see here, since I already have 9, I'm trying to download Tomcat 10 version. So once you scroll down, you will get the installer here. So click on this installer. So to install Tomcat, which is 12.1 MB. So after installing, I request you to install parallelly. If you have not installed, you install it parallelly. Install it. Install Tomcat 9 along with me. Is this clear? You please install Tomcat 9 if it is not installed. If it is installed, it's okay. You can install Tomcat 10. If 9 is installed, you can install 10 also. It is not a problem. Install 10 on your system. Install Tomcat 10. Any doubts so far? Have you installed, by the way, or you are installing?
I'm installing.
You are already installed. This is Viraj, right?
Yeah,
Or Manish?
I'm Viraj.
All right, Viraj. So you're already installed with Tomcat. Which version you have installed?
8.
You have installed Tomcat 8 and Java version?
Java I have 8.
Sorry, you have Java which version?
Java 8.
8. So Java 8 and Tomcat 8 you have installed, right? Okay. All right. Good. So I'm trying to install Tomcat 10. So you get the MSI installer. As you have already installed, just you double click this file. It will ask for the instructions. And on which port you are running Tomcat? What is the default port that you are using? What is the default port that you have used? Yes, Viraj. Which port you are running your Tomcat server?
I'm not sure yet. I'm
Sorry?
checking the. I'm not sure. I'm checking it right now.
Oh, usually by default it is 8080. If you have not customized, default port is 8080. Default port is 8080. Default port is 8080. Okay. So once you install the installer, you get this icon and you can click on this. So you get like this Tomcat installer. Click on next. I agree. Next. So this is how you get server shutdown port and HTTP connector port. 8080. Default port is 8080. Windows service name is Tomcat 10. So click on next. So it is using.
I have a different thing.
Sorry. You
I
have
have a different. Yeah, like
which system you are using? Is it Windows or
yeah,
Linux?
it's Windows.
You are getting a different screen.
Yeah, no. So when I downloaded it and I extracted it, I can't find the icon anywhere.
Okay, you downloaded, you extracted, and you are unable to find the icon.
Yep. Can you please go back to that folder you downloaded?
Yes. So I think you might have downloaded zip folder if I'm not wrong. You have to always, you have to remember one point. Whenever you download any application, you should install the installer, service installer. For any application, you will have a service installer. So that you have to download instead of downloading the zip files. Usually these are nothing but source codes. Okay. So sometimes you will get issues. So you should always install a service installer to download the applications. So this you have to click.
Okay. Yeah, I got it now. Thank you.
Welcome. So once you click this, you will get the installer in downloads folder. Here in downloads folder, you will get the icon like this. And once you double click this Apache Tomcat 10 or 9 or 8, once you double click this, you will get the installation instructions. You will get the installation instructions. I clicked on next. So most probably, okay, I think it has not started. Yeah, click on next. I agree and download all. So here you have to change server shutdown port. You need not change this. This is important on which port you want to run. By default, it is 8080. This you have to select. And username password is optional. It is better don't use any username and password. Click on next. So it will ask for your JDK version C program files, Java, JRE, Java, see here. Please select the path of a Java 8 or later. So the compatible versions of Tomcat 10 is 8 or later. Below 8, it doesn't support. Tomcat 10 does not support Java versions which are less than Java 8. So it clearly says here. So click on next. No virtual machine found in folder. So let me select once again. I have to select JDK. Okay. Okay, downloads. S. I have to select JDK version. So browse here. C program files. This PC. C program files. C program files. Java. Okay, I have JDK 11. Okay, let me select. Java 8. Okay, so see program files x86 Java JDK. So you will have two folders here. One is program files and other one is x86. So you can use, I have installed Java 8 in this and Java 11 in another folder. So let me click on the next. Install. Click on next and say install. So it will install Tomcat. Are we clear with the installation steps? Any doubts in installation?
No.
Okay. So see here, it is installed successfully, completing Apache Tomcat setup. Just make sure that you don't run it, because otherwise if you click on this, you will get the service icon here and you have to, even if you run also not a problem. You click on finish. Okay, see here, this is a Tomcat server which is running and this is a release notes. So just you can go through this. What is the username? What is the password? What are the privileges? Manager privileges, admin privileges. So this, all these instructions are given in this. You can set, like if at all you configure Tomcat server, this will be handy, like what all things to use. So these are release notes. Just you can go through it. Okay, so here this is a server, Tomcat server, which is running. Meanwhile, I'll close this because if I run in Eclipse, I'll get an exception because explicitly I'm running this. So let me exit. Okay. So that is how you have to install Tomcat server. And if you talk about servlets, just create a normal folder. Go to file, new, dynamic web project. You have to create in Eclipse dynamic web project. Create dynamic web project. Create dynamic web project and give project name, let's say. Sample cargo application. sample cargo application. Okay, so here I'm using Apache Tomcat. You can see here. Once you select the project name, you have to select this runtime. So I'm using 8.59. Also, I can select and module version. This is important. Dynamic web module version 3.1. 3 or higher you have to select. 3 or higher. So I'm selecting 3.1. Okay. So click on next. These things are important. You have to select. Make sure that you have the settings ready. Click on next. So source output folders are by default SRC folder. Click on next. Sample cargo application, web content, and here you have to select this generate web.xml deployment descriptor. Click on this and say click on finish. Okay, so this is a sample cargo application created. You can see the change here. You will get a browser symbol, meaning that it is a web application. And this is a directory structure, deployment descriptor. So if you see the deployment descriptor, you will have all these things. Means you can configure all these things. Deployment descriptor means you have to configure all the settings, like what are the context parameters, error pages, filters, listeners, references, servlet mapping, servlet. Okay, we are not going to discuss all these things. We are going to see servlets, because what is a servlet you should know, and how we create JSP pages. So that is important. So we will see how to configure servlets. Okay, so let's see. This is what we can configure in deployment descriptor. Deployment descriptor is nothing but your web.xml. Now, where exactly web.xml is stored? It is stored inside the web.inf folder. So it is inside the web.inf folder. So this is your web.xml file. This is your web.xml file, which we call it as a deployment descriptor. So here version you can see XML version. You should not change this. Similarly, web app version. This is also important. You should not change these settings. You can see here web app version 3.1. So if you make any like 2.5, 3 or any other, if you do copy paste, your web application will not work. If at all it is not compatible. So you should be careful with these versions, XML schema versions. Okay. So web app XML namespace. XMLNS stands for XML namespace. So it will look for the namespaces, which version of web application version it is using. All these are important settings. You should not change it. So by default, these settings you should not change. They will be created automatically along with the application. These settings are selected along with the application. So you need not change it. Now here next you will have display name, that is sample cargo application, and here it is a welcome file list. When you run this application, it will look for the welcome file, either index.html, index.jsp or default HTML, etc. So if you see here, you don't have any JSP file or HTML file. Now if you create, let's say I'll create a JSP file. Right click, new JSP file. JSP stands for, any idea what is a JSP? Any idea what are JSPs?
I'm thinking Java server pages.
Yes, Java server pages. Java server pages, it is view layer. Usually instead of HTML, you use JSP files. That is Java solution for view layer, that is presentation layer. Java solution for presentation layer. Okay. So here you have to come, let's say, which welcome file, let's say, let us take welcome file. Welcome.jsp. Welcome.jsp. Click on next, finish. So here, if you see, This is a JSP page. Now, if you see its syntax is almost HTML. 70% it will be HTML. JSP syntax 70% HTML, 30% Java code. 70% HTML, 30% Java code. So if you see, this is a @ directive. This is called as @ page directive from JSP. What is a page? It is a page directive. In this directive, we have to set what is the language. It is Java. What is the content type? It supports two contents. One is HTML and the other one is normal text. Okay, so we are giving the instructions to the JSP or browser engine. We are giving instructions to the browser engine to execute Java language and to accept the content which is of type text and HTML following the character set which has ISO standards 88591 and encoding standards. Page encoding is ISO 8859. That is the meaning. Means we are giving instructions to the browser engine. We are giving instructions to the browser engine to accept this type of data. That is Java and HTML. That's it. Java and HTML it has to accept. So here this is a JSP @ page directive tag. Lesser than angular symbol, percentage, @. So these three are different. Lesser than symbol, angular symbol, percentage, @. So it is called as @ page directive. This is called as @ page directive. Next. So HTML header tag, and this is a sample HTML file. I'm sure you must be knowing. HTML tag, head tag. Inside HTML, you will have for every opening tag, you will have a closing tag. You can see here. Here it is HTML, closing tag HTML. Body tag, closing tag body. Header tag, closing tag, header tag. Title tag is closed. Okay. So here you have to insert the title which will appear on the title bar. Let's say welcome page. Let's say welcome page. Okay, let's say welcome to advanced Java session. Welcome to advanced Java session. Okay, so this is a simple JSP page that we have created. Simple JSP page that we have created. Okay, now let us run this application. So I have created a sample J2EE, that is web project I have created. And I have created a sample JSP file, welcome.jsp. Now I have to configure this in web.xml. So here, let's say welcome.jsp. And I have to remove all these things. Means as a welcome file, you can use a HTML file or you can use JSP files. Any files you can use. Okay. Now let me run this application. So right click on the application and say run as, run on server. Click on next and click on finish. So let me restart the server. Any doubts so far? So see here, so your JSP file is executed. So this is a request. This is nothing but your requested URL. That is what we discussed here. So HTTP colon localhost. HTTP colon localhost, project context and name of the application. Okay. So this is a path that we are talking about. This is the request path. This is your path. This entire thing is your path for your web application. This entire thing is your web application path. This entire thing is your web application path. Okay, web application path, and in this you are calling welcome.jsp. Welcome.jsp. This is your file name. Welcome.jsp. Any doubts on this? Right. Now let us see how to execute servlets. How to execute servlets. So this is a default JSP page that we have called. Now how to configure servlets? For that we have to go to Java resource source folder, and here let us create a package. New package. New package. Let's say com.servlets. Com.servlets. Okay, so this is a user defined package I have created. Now let me right click on this and say new. We say new servlet. Okay, let us take welcome servlet. It's a welcome servlet. So if you see, this is a project sample cargo application source folder, and this is your package. This is your class name, and what is the super class of this class? javax.servlet.http servlet. javax.servlet.http servlet. And this is a welcome page. Use an existing servlet class or JSP. What is the existing servlet class? Welcome. The name what we give, it is appeared there. Click on next. So you can see here, name is given here. Description, let's say first servlet. Let's say first servlet. First servlet. And this is a URL mapping. This is important. How you are calling your servlet. URL mapping. Click on next and click on. So here you can see what are all the methods HTTP supports. So these are the different methods HTTP supports. Init, destroy, do get, do post, do put, do delete, trace, option set. These are the different methods HTTP supports. So let me click on finish. So it has created a template for the servlet. So these are the predefined packages. These are the predefined packages which are imported. javax.servlet. This is one is for exception, servlet exception and IO exception. And this is for HTTP servlet, servlet request and servlet response. Okay, so this is, now let me remove this. We will use a get request instead of a post request. So let me select this. Let me select this. So this is okay. So this is a do get request. Right now, how to start the servlet? This is like a main method. This is like a main method. This is like a main method for a Java class. So in this class, you have to specify what your servlet should do. Okay, what your servlet should do, you have to specify here. What your servlet should do, you have to specify here. Okay, so here first we have to tell to the servlet engine that it has to display to the browser. For that you have to use a print writer object. You have to instantiate print writer object from the response object, servlet response. Okay, so here what is the servlet response? It is named as response. So response dot get response dot get writer. Response dot get writer you have to call. Response dot get writer you have to call. So response dot get writer will return a print writer object. Okay, now you have to import the package print writer. Import print writer. Next, response dot get writer. So we have received a print writer. Why? To print the data on the browser. To print data on the browser. Next, response dot get writer. Now, response should be of type HTML. So for that you have to call this one, response dot set content type. So here you have to specify the type. Now that value is nothing but text, that is HTML, text and HTML. So these two are important. These two things will specify whatever output is generated should be redirected to the browser. Response is 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 redirected to the browser. Any doubt so far? Yes, please. Any doubts? All right. So let us print a sample HTML page. Okay, we can use up to. Okay, you can take already existing one. So I want to print these things. Okay, let's do this. So I want to display all the information related to servlet request. So let me copy this. Okay. So here we are using request dot. If you see, this is a HTML content that we are passing to print line method. pw.println print line method. We are passing HTML code. Why? Because we want to print it on the browser. So this is a HTML code and we are trying to display the request details. We are trying to display the request details. So let me run this application. Save it. Restart the server.